Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to your own channel Medu Study. I am your friend Ashutosh from IIM Indore, and as you all know, Medu Study is your own channel initiative in which we discuss various management topics and subjects in a very simple manner. Friends, we have videos on various management modules which include strategic management, human resource management, operations management, marketing, as well as organizational behavior. We get a very good feedback for you, and we would like to thanks for the same, and basis your feedback we keep on developing content. Today's video, my dear friends, is from strategic management, and the topic is strategic formulation for functional strategy, and second video. In the last video, which was video number 20, those friends who have not seen, please see that from our playlist so that you get a sense of continuity. In that, I told you what functional strategy is all about, and we started it. We discussed functional strategy for some key functions like marketing and finance. Today we will continue that video. We had discussed marketing, finance and R&D as well. Today we will add few more functions. Let us start. First of all, we discuss about what is operations strategy. So operations, again, operations supply chain is a very important part. It includes your manufacturing decisions, purchasing decisions, as well as logistic decision as well. So what it determines, basically, when we talk about operations, how and where a product or service is to be manufactured. For example, you are into manufacturing paint, so where, which location you will make, how you will make, all that decisions come in operation. Whether it will be completely company owned land or it will be leased, all those decisions are part of operations team. Level of vertical integration in production process. The production process will comprise of various stage. For example, cutting, binding, mixing, grinding, depending upon the industry. If it is into electronics, assembling, testing, everything. So all that mixing, what you will do, how and what level integration you want to do, all those decisions are basically lying in this operation strategy. Deployment of physical resources. Now for any kind of operations, various physical resources are required, like land, labor and all. So what physical resources will be there, what level will be there, all those decisions comes again. And relationship with supplier, what kind of relationship you want to maintain with the suppliers. See, suppliers are very important when it comes to operations, and my friends who have workex or who know about operations, they will know that most of the time of operations team or the supply chain team goes in coordination with this kind of suppliers, or you basically they are also called as vendors. So management with them, all that comes in the operation strategy. Next part is, my dear friends, purchasing strategy. As the name suggests, related to purchasing, deals with obtaining raw materials, parts and supplies needed to perform the operation function. So depending upon the company and industry you are in, you will require various raw materials, parts and supplies. So for that, how purchasing is to be done comes in this. To understand the criticality, let me give you an example. In many companies, for example in cement, in paint, raw material cost can be up to 50-60% of the total cost of the company. So see, even saving a rupee or a paisa will matter. That is why this is a separate department altogether. Now there can be three kind of purchasing: multiple, sole and parallel. Let us discuss them. First is multiple sourcing. As our name suggests, multiple, more than one. Purchasing company orders a particular part from several vendors. So from different vendors you are basically getting it. That is basically known as multiple sourcing. So you want a component X, it comes from different A, B, C, D, different suppliers. This is known as multiple sourcing. Benefit of this, benefit will be you are not dependent on a particular supplier, you can negotiate with them, you can see, test and all. Disadvantage, since you are taking from many, you cannot get that volume or the scale benefit which is there. Sole sourcing relies on only one supplier for a particular part. So for a particular part on a particular supplier only. Many times it also happens because one, you get better negotiation in terms of rate. Second time, if it is a specialized part, many a time a particular vendor only specializes in that. In many chemical industry and all, there are some vendors, some things for which you will only have one or two suppliers. For example, again taking paint example, if you want to get this oil, the authorized suppliers, basically there are only two suppliers, HPCL, BPCL. For some chemicals there will be only one supplier, so you have to take with that supplier only. Then is, my dear friends, parallel sourcing. Two suppliers are the sole supplier of two different parts, but they are also backup supplier for each other part. So chemical X, chemical Y are there. One you are taking from Ram company, one you are taking from Shams company. This is parallel, but you will say this is sole also we are taking. No, difference is, in this case, if Ram is not able to supply X, Sham should be able to supply, and if Sham is not able to supply Y, Ram should be able to supply. This is example of parallel sourcing. So two suppliers, they are giving their regular parts, but they should also be able to give each other part. That is known as parallel sourcing. Now logistics strategy. As the name suggests, logistics deals with the flow of product into and out of the manufacturing process. So it includes both inward as well as outward. What do you mean by inward? So from your raw material and packaging material suppliers, vendors, you will be getting things inside your manufacturing plant, factory. That is known as inward. Outward means after the product is produced, it will go to your RDC, it will go to the distribution point or the retailer point or the consumer point, whatever point, depending upon what industry you are in, what model you are in. That is basically known as logistics. It includes three different trends. One is trend of centralization. Centralization means everything under one roof, centrally controlled. Nowadays companies do outsourcing of logistic function, means they only focus on manufacturing. There is a logistic partner, a courier partner, a XYZ partner who take care of all the deliveries. And internet. Nowadays logistic is also taken care totally by internet. When there is online purchasing and all, that is known as internet. HRM strategy. It addresses the issue whether a company or business unit should hire a large number of low-skilled employees who receive low pay, perform repetitive job, and will most likely quit after a short time, as fast food restaurant strategy, or hire skilled employees with high pay and trained in self-managing work teams. So two kinds can be there. When the job is repetitive, like it gave example of fast food chain delivery or your Zomato, Swiggy kind of things, or even your call center, where the job is kind of mundane job. In that, the company fixes a particular pay, that if you are a BPO employee, 15,000, 20,000, depending upon many factors, including your labor laws also. So in that, company does not keep on giving you higher pay or keep on promoting. They will only give you that particular pay. If you are ready, then okay. Otherwise, there are another people whom they can train in a week's time and hire. Another is in which you give high pays because you require skilled employees, and for their skill basically you are paying them. This is known as HRM strategy. IT strategy. IT strategy, there is a concept known as follow the sun management. Project team members living in one country can pass their work to team members in another country in which the work day is just beginning. This is known as follow the sun. So like it was a common saying when British Empire ruled the entire world, that the sun never sets, because when it used to rise in one part, when it was time to set there, another part it was rising. US companies, they outsource most of their jobs in Asian countries like India, Indonesia, China, Vietnam. They get this advantage. When it is day in US, it is night over here. When it is day over here, it is night. So when their offices are working, by the time their office time is there to end, in India or in Vietnam, it will be time to start. So basically this is known as follow the sun management. Now sourcing decision, my dear friends. So sourcing decision can be basically outsourcing and offshoring. Outsourcing, like we have discussed multiple times, purchasing from someone else that has been previously provided internally, so you are outsourcing it from someone else. And when this location is totally out of the country, a particular activity is completely given to another country provider, it is known as offshoring. Now let us discuss what are the disadvantages of outsourcing, why you should not outsource. One, customer complaints. So see, the level with which company will take care of its customers, outsourced partner won't. So in many cases it is seen when the activities are outsourced, customer complaints rise. Locked into long-term contracts. You get into long-term contracts and contractual liabilities also increases. Lack of ability to learn new skill and develop new core competencies. Your skill set, your competency won't develop now, because you're totally depending upon them. If they are doing it is okay, otherwise you cannot do anything in this particular case. Lack of cost savings. Since you are outsourcing, you need to spend that particular thing, and basis that retainer, that amount is there. Whether your business is incurring profit or loss, that amount is gone. Poor product quality. Many a times in case of outsourcing, customer complaints are also seen. So many a times if you see a factory works on a mixed model, for example, you're into footwear, some particular percentage, 60-70% you are making, remaining are outsourcing. So it is generally seen products which are your own factory made will have lesser complaints compared to which are outsourced, because of obvious reasons. Now that particular person is just considered about volumes and want to make money. He is not that concerned about quality, which your own factory person will be. What are the errors in outsourcing which you should avoid? Outsourcing the wrong activities. So a company should only outsource activities which it does not specialize or which are non-core to it. Core activities or the activities which you are known for should never be outsourced. If you are known into innovation, you need to do innovation in-house, R&D in-house. If you are into manufacturing production, that should be done in-house. Support functions can be outsourced. Selecting the wrong vendor. Many a times, so companies are not that, I would say, not that specific or not that time spending or that scrutinizing when they choose a vendor, and many times it lead to mistake. Writing poor contract. So while writing contract, you should take care of all the terms and conditions, and no poor contract should be written, because tomorrow you don't know, because of that lack of the particular laws and bylaws, the partner is taking the advantage. Overlooking personal issues. So whether it is outsourced or those people are from the agency partners, outsourced vendor partners, you should take care of those people also as your own people only. Lack of control. So lack of control is there, but you should avoid it. You should see how better control you can take. Overlooking hidden costs. So many times there are hidden costs. For example, you outsourced a particular production, but at that time you were not aware that it will require some new equipment which your company currently did not have, or it will require some particular shooting venue which particular expenses you did not book for. Lack of an exit strategy. Contracts many times lack exit strategy, because of which they are bound. So you should always have a proper well defined exit strategy in your contract as well. So this is the proposed outsourcing metrics. On one act, we are seeing the potential for the competitive advantage, and on other, what is the total value add that product and service is doing. So if competitive advantage is low, you should outsource that activity. If it is not giving competitive advantage, just outsource it completely. If the value add is also low, buy an open market, or otherwise if that is high, you can do through long-term contracts. In case competitive advantage is high, in that case we should do integration. Now depending upon the value add is low or high, it can be either taper or full. So taper means some internal production is there, and in case of full means all production is done internally. Strategies to avoid: follow the leader, don't blindly follow the leader. Hit another home run, so means you are just focusing on getting some particular targets done but missing on some points. Arms race, you are just into competition, you are just seeing what competitor did, how much I should did and all. Do everything, you see that I want to do everything, not focusing and not I would say channelizing your energy and losing hands. So all these strategies basically should be avoided. So my dear friends, this is all from today's video. In the next video, we will discuss the third part. We will continue this topic. If there is any particular doubt, you can please write on our mail ID meedu.study@gmail.com, or you can write in the comment section, we will address. If you are liking our content, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you friends, take care.